Hello everybody, Vigo Shadow here, and today we have a new unit that just came out not too long ago. We have Royal Fan Service Alexia, which happens to be a red attacker. So now that we have both of the units from the event, I'll be covering this one, and we can compare and contrast a little bit. If you haven't seen this Echoing Radiance Rose, I recommend you check it out. She is a very promising unit, and we'll see how Alexia stacks up. Granted, this one is a healer, and that one is an attacker. And then we also have this other banner that come out, so I'll be covering that one. It is Thankful Heart Alpha, and Be My Guest Gamma. So I'll be doing that entire video, or that entire banner, in one video. So be on the lookout for that one next. But first, let's get right into it. Royal Fan Service Alexia. So let's go up to the max stats and check them out. We have power to healing boost to overheal, and the grouping with the idol. So I like the fact that they do have that idol grouping. I don't know if we're going to have like idol specific stuff like in Sanctuary, or making some sort of idol team. That would be cool. Either way, let's just go ahead and check out the skills, one of the best parts here. So our hidden technique is Classic Idol, and it's a 2-hit actually. So what we have on the 2-hit is 1,200 plus 1,200, making a whopping that's the, I forgot, it was the max stats. That's on the Awaken though. So either way, we have a 2-hit that is a total of 2,000 damage, which is a bit higher than the standard, which is also nice. And then we also have a healing ability on top of that, which is not bad for an attacker. So essentially, it's a standard heal to all allies. So it kind of works as a flex unit. It's healing and it's causing damage, and the damage is not bad. You think they would lower the damage or make it a little bit more standard if they're doing both, but this is not a bad skill, and when it's awakened, you obviously have 400% more damage, which isn't that bad on the increase, which is, I think, pretty nice. And then you raise the own overheal by 50% on the additional there. I think the own overheal would probably be actually really good, because it's an attacking unit that's getting the overheal, not a healer unit. So that's definitely a game changer there too. So let's check out her skill 1, which is Dazzling. Raises damage received by a single enemy by 20% for 15 seconds. Further inflicts a 3-hit combo, 150 plus 150, 1 plus 150, making it 450 for the total there. And then when this looks like Awakened, we have, it goes from 450 to 600 for the damage, and 10% more on the damage received for the single enemy. So as you can tell, that's going to be a little bit better for bosses, because you're going to have that enemy be able to get hit a little bit more harder from your other teammates, so it does a great job in supporting your other teammates for that. And then you also have this 3-hit combo that is slightly above, I think, standard, which would be like maybe 400%. So it's doing a little bit more. The damage is there for sure. It's not bad at all for the damage, and then the raised damage received is a bonus on top of that. So that is pretty good. Let's just check out her other abilities, which look like passives. So let's check out Glamour Pose. So, oh, here we go. We have grants invincibility on the first ally in line for 5 seconds. Also raises the speed by 20% for 15 seconds. Further raises the SP boost rate by 20% for 15 seconds. So this whole invincibility thing on the first ally in line, whenever this actually activates, it seems like it's going to be a little bit more at random, so we don't know, or whenever it cycles through, you never know. So it's not as good as Rose's invincibility, where you can just go ahead and heal and you get invincibility. That's way more easier to achieve, because you can actually activate it. This is something that's just off of random chance, so who knows when that you're going to actually need that invincibility. So that invincibility, to me, I think it's still good for Arena, because essentially it keeps your tank covered for a little bit, so that's actually pretty good for arena. I would think if you're able to make that work. Especially you can have that tank clutch it for a little bit, like 5 more seconds, especially when they're getting hit pretty hard. Um, it's also going to raise the speed for the tank, which I guess is considerable. I mean, you want speed on kind of everyone, and then the SP boost rate is a bit. Mm, I don't know. I don't see it being desirable for the tank to have like this type of stuff unless you're doing some sort of Lambda and Rose combo, which you actually could do. So it's not too bad because if you think about it, if you have Lambda and Rose driven to excellence, you could essentially use that SP boost rate to do multiple hidden techniques, and that wouldn't be too bad. And then also raising the speed for them as well. So I think this one's not bad all in all, considering it's on red team and you have that Lambda and Rose combination there. But the invincibility is an unpredictable factor that you can't really nail down. Now we go to the last ability. Kind of excited for this one. Royal Fan Service. Check it out. Let's see. At the start of the wave, we're reducing damage received for all allies by 20% for 30 seconds. Further grants invincibility for 3 seconds if it's red elemental, which you should. So any of the allies in your team, if they're red, are going to be given this invincibility for 3 seconds. I could see this being a good skill for like arena at the start of the wave. It's only 3 seconds, so it's not going to be covering a lot of damage for arena and stuff. And this is only at the start of the wave. I think that 3 seconds is just way too short of a window for dungeoning or like PvP, PvE. Maybe a little bit on the PvP because you have that 3 second like I guess head start before the enemies start hitting you. But the biggest thing about this is not the invincibility. It's this reduces damage received for all allies by 20% for 30 seconds. Now that is going to actually save you a little bit in PvP because you're going to be taking less damage from everybody. So that's good. For that, let's just check what this looks like awakened. We go from 3 seconds to 2 more seconds, which would be 5, and then 10% more on the damage received. I think this is something you might want to see in the roadmap, considering that it is probably one of the, I think, the best tools in her kit. Besides maybe Glamour Pose. Or, maybe. So she does have 2 techniques that are invincibility based, which are Glamour Pose and Royal Fan Service. One's at the start of the wave, that only happens one time, and one's at random. So, I mean, essentially, if you think about it, that's 8 seconds of the round, I think, in PvP or in PvE, where you get invincibility, where you're taking no damage. I still think it's pretty unpredictable. Either way, let's check out... Let's see, did I look at this when it was awakened? Ah, okay, no I didn't. So sometimes I miss that. So we have... Ooh, okay, so this is actually what you're going to want to see awakened. So I forgot to check that, so my bad. Grants invincibility on first and second allies in line for 5 seconds. That's a bit better. So you're definitely going to want to see that immediately on the roadmap because you can get 30% speed on them and the SP boost rate as well. These are considerable changes, especially with the addition of the second ally. That could be very, very useful. Dazzling, we already checked that out. And Royal Fan Service is just a 10% with 2 seconds additional. So her best thing on the Awakening roadmap is Glamour Pose. Hopefully we see that pretty early. But let's just go ahead and check out. We have a 2-hit for the normal attack, which always usually ends up being 100%. And then Link Gear, let's check it out. Raises own damage inflicted by 80% until surviving allies fall below 5. I think this is a pretty good magic gear considering that's a lot of damage inflicted. And that's going to be permanent throughout the whole wave until your surviving allies fall below 5. With this magic gear alone, this causes Alexia to churn out a lot of damage. But she doesn't have a lot of damaging moves. Only her skill 1 and her hidden technique is the only way she can cause damage. And of course with the strike combos and normal attack. So, yeah, it's kind of a toss-up, I'd say. But let's just check out the Awakening. I always like to do that because I want to see Glamour Pose on the Awakening as soon as possible. So let's just see where things line up. So instead, we have her skill 1, the Dazzling Plus, which gives us a little bit more damage received and 600 instead of 450. I'd say that's mid. I think it's fair to put it at mid. Then we have Hidden Technique, which is 400% more damage, and then you have Overheal Factor. I think that's pretty good. A2 would be good. A3, we have the Royal Fan Service, which is reducing the damage received for all allies by 30%. I think that's pretty, maybe mid or like good. Mid to good, I'd say. You can argue both ways. It's only 2 extra seconds. And then there's 10% more damage are reduced. So there's that. And then we have Gear Slot, and of course they tucked away the best one for last, Glamour Pose, and that'd be a lot of grinding for that. I'm not sure if that'd even be worth it at that point if you have to get them all the way to A5. So it's kind of, her Awakening roadmap does not look too great here with the best part of her kit being tucked away at A5. And then maybe A2 being the best one. I mean, you're going to get A1 from the event, so that's not bad. Either way, that was Alexia Royal Fan Service. Now I'm going to tell ya, should I pull for Royal Fan Service Alexia? Or should I pull for Echoing Radiance Rose? For those who have waited, who want the better advice for which character to choose, I'd say I'm more leaning towards Rose, and this is because if you check out the video, I won't dive into it too much, she has a lot in her kit as a healer to contribute to the team. She buffs it out in multiple ways, including like shield, damage inflicted, and much, much more. You can check out that video to see exactly what she's capable of and the more in-depth analysis of it. But she definitely outshines Royal Fan Service Alexia in terms of abilities and what she can do. However, she is a healer compared to Alexia here, which is an attacker. Now, how does she stack up as an attacker compared to others? Well, I can tell you that she is more of a supportive role attacker. So if you're not looking, which actually a supporting role attacker which does a considerable amount of damage. I'm not gonna sit here and say that she does not a lot of damage because this would prove me otherwise. She can hold her own. She can do a lot of damage, 80% for the whole time. 80% damage inflicted for the whole time. And on top of that, you have you can raise the damage received by 20%. So if you combine Dazzling with this linked gear being 80, that's 100% damage inflicted on a single enemy. 80% more coming from just you, and then the other allies are able to attack the enemies much more better with this Dazzling skill. So she helps the team with this Dazzling skill by having damage received for 20% for 15 seconds, so she's helping the team out in that way. She's healing the team with the Hidden Technique, which is very rare for attackers to have. It is a standard heal, but still, I won't include there is overheal and factor if you have her at A2, but I won't include that, I'll only include base kit. And then she does have some invincibility. Her invincibility is not as great as Rose's because with Rose's, like I said, you can activate that invincibility when you want, whereas her, it's random chance. So, but she does have the option to go invincibility, so I won't discredit that. She also can raise speed rates just on that first ally, which is kind of a waste, and unless you get her at A5, which gives the second ally that SP boost and speed. So she does that, and then start of the wave, she reduces damage received by all allies. So what she's good at is reducing the whole team's damage, healing the team, and then she could also debuff the boss so that the other allies can hit it harder. So she definitely fits the support role very well. With also hitting really good damage with her linked gear. So I'd say for those who want to pull Alexia because you're a super fan of Alexia, I would definitely go for it for sure. She's not a bad unit to pull for. If you want an event unit badly and you're a fan of Alexia, I'd say go ahead and pull it. It's not a bad unit for red teams. However, if you're on a tight budget, going for very specific characters and want to go for like maybe more, I guess more meta, more stronger teams, then I would suggest either saving your gems for next banners, and wait till next Shadow Festival rolls around to have somebody that can probably outdo this type of support and provide better support. Or maybe take a crack at Echoing Radiance Rose because she obviously outshines Lambda by a long shot. And yeah, but yeah, this one's not bad. It does the Royal Fan Service Alexia will she'll do more damage than quite a bit of the SS's for red on the roster as is. So it's not a bad choice. I know she won't be doing as much damage as Anna Rose here. Anna Rose is a god tier unit for red teams, and she's on the regular banner or regular character pool. But she does outshine a lot of the other SS's in terms of her damage and what she's able to do. So like I said, it's not a bad one to pull for if you really want the unit. So, but that's all I can give you. Otherwise, I'd just keep on rambling. Obviously, I did mention that between these two banners, Rose would probably be the better pick based on how she performs as a healer and how much support she is giving out. But with that being said, Vigo, signing off.